Charlie gets shot. Let's watch how he reacts. Mikey is still there, phone in hand, still filming, still texting, still talking. Charlie is about to be killed. Mikey's still standing loyally by right there. And then let's watch him walk away. So he goes behind it and he comes out right here. He just walks away. There he is walking away.
Wow.
So there he is walking away. That's him. That's him walking away.
None of these things make any sense to me. Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane.
A video spreading across the internet has sparked more frame-by-frame breakdowns, more slow-motion replays, and more intense debate than almost any other piece of footage connected to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The video shows Mikey McCoy, Charlie's 24-year-old chief of staff, a man many sources described as Charlie's closest day-to-day advisor and trusted right hand, during the critical moments surrounding the attack on September 10th, 2025.
It's a crazy story that Sam Parker has unveiled, and it has to do with Charlie Kirk's right-hand man at TP USA. Here's what he says. As everyone else rushed to Charlie's aid and carried him to an SUV and to jet him to a hospital, this guy, Mike McCoy, can be seen... Mikey McCoy can be seen walking away in the distance, completely ignorant of whatever it is that's happening to Charlie behind him, and not visibly caring at all.
Mikey, get down.
It's really weird. I'm going to show you this video in a second.
According to Candace Owens and many people who have been studying the footage frame by frame, what stands out is how unusually calm McCoy appears during one of the most chaotic moments of the day, raising questions and fueling ongoing public discussion. But here's what makes this story much bigger than just another viral video.
Was Charlie dead? Was he bleeding out? Did Charlie need help? Should he ride with Charlie to the hospital? Where are they taking Charlie? What's going on? Apparently, these were all questions of no concern to Mike McCoy, Charlie's friend and his chief of staff.
Mike in a ball cap, backpack strapped tight, phone in hand, recording everything like a man on a mission, always filming, always close.
So there they are. They're in the car. So that's Charlie Kirk. They're on their way to the event in Utah. Mike McCoy can be seen in the rearview mirror.
Look at that.
Wearing a ball cap.
The call logs are real, and the minute-by-minute timeline showing exactly who Mikey McCoy called, the order of those calls, and how long each one lasted was reportedly provided to Candace Owens by Turning Point USA.
So Mike McCoy, his chief of staff, is in the back seat, and he's filming it. That's him, right there. Mike's phone is visible for an instant. Notice the circle. That's his phone. Okay. So now they pull up on campus, and Charlie's happy about the big turnout. So there's Mike. That's him. He's right behind Charlie Kirk, entering this overhang right here, which they've now scrubbed and restuccoed. This is the view from the overhang. This is Mikey's hat, his phone with the circle.
According to claims about those records, that timeline appears to conflict with the public version of events shared during official interviews. Now, as of July 6th, 2026, the preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson has officially started, bringing new developments that add fresh context to what the call logs reportedly revealed.
He's filming all of it. So this is Mikey's, this is from his camera, from his phone. So this is there you go. That's there he is right here. Still trailing him, still filming everything.
Let's go through the timeline, the claims, and the latest updates step by step. This needs to be examined carefully because the details are specific, and every small detail matters. The footage showing Mikey McCoy at the UVU event on September 10th is real, and it has circulated widely online.
How, 6 years ago, 7 years,
Yeah.
Charlie saw something in him,
Yeah.
and you're like, well,
Yeah.
Is that true? By the way, that's so unfair that I'm saying this to your son. I am breaking every rule.
It's not unfair to him. The reality is, Charlie saw something that Mikey's own father didn't see, and he pulled it out of Mikey. And that's what he would do with all the youth. And one of the reasons I met Charlie was because of Mikey. He says, Dad, you got to listen to this guy.
Several clips from different camera angles place McCoy near Charlie throughout the morning. At breakfast, inside the hotel lobby, close to the car, and later at the event venue. He remains consistently nearby, but that alone is not unusual. As Charlie's chief of staff during a major public appearance, staying close would have been part of his job. So, to be clear, McCoy's proximity by itself is not evidence of anything suspicious. What drew so much viral attention was the footage from the moments immediately after the attack, which reportedly occurred at 12:23:30 p.m.
He made his life a study of 18 to 30-year-olds, and he spoke to them, and he knew how to push them to excellence. And my son's a perfect example of that. He's exceeded me at 23.
You know what? Through Charlie, all of you have contributed to all of us rethinking our value system and what matters. Thank you all for that.
Thank you.
You're going to be a star. I'm predicting right now.
In her October 29th, 2025 podcast episode, Charlie's Angels or Demons, Disturbing Footage Emerges, Candace Owens pointed to those specific moments as a major focus of her analysis. According to Owens' interpretation of the video, McCoy appeared noticeably calm in the immediate aftermath. She argued that there was no obvious sign of panic, no visible rush toward Charlie, and no clear display of distress. Instead, the footage appears to show him turning and walking away while people around him reacted with confusion and chaos, a contrast that has fueled widespread online debate and differing interpretations. Owens was very clear about one point in that episode. She stated directly, "I certainly did not think that he was involved in pulling a trigger and unaliving Charlie Kirk."
Then Trump was shot, Kennedy was shot, RFK was shot. Where were they? There's some things, no matter how hard you try, and especially with Turning Point growing exponentially and trying to figure out the dimensions of what to do. And how are they supposed to get on a roof when the campus police have the keys to all that? Just calm down. And I'm sorry, what's the latest one for all you anti-Semites? The Israelis put a hit on him? Oh, please. Just take your hate elsewhere.
Her focus was not on claiming that McCoy carried out the attack. Instead, she questioned what he may have known, when he may have learned it, and who he was speaking with in the seconds and minutes afterward. According to Owens, those questions became much more detailed once the call logs were introduced, leading to even more public discussion and scrutiny. Here is the minute-by-minute call timeline that Owens said was confirmed through records provided by Turning Point USA. According to those records, at 12:02 p.m., about 21 minutes before the attack, Danny McCoy, Mikey McCoy's brother who serves in the military, called Mikey.
There's no credence in any of that. You had a man raised in a God-fearing home that got twisted and indoctrinated. And everyone who is involved in lies with subtlety of deception without any fact, you're participating and you've got blood guilt. God operates in truth, not your stupidity. And I'm calling it what it is. You're complicit.
At 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was attacked. Then at 12:24 p.m., Charlie was moved to an SUV by members of the security team. During that same 12:24 p.m. minute, the records indicate that Mikey McCoy placed a call to his wife, Elizabeth McCoy, a detail that later became a major point of discussion in Owens' review of the timeline. According to the call records discussed by Owens, that first call between Mikey McCoy and his wife, Elizabeth McCoy, continued for a full 10 minutes. During that same 12:24 p.m. minute, Blake Neff reportedly called his own mother, and that conversation lasted about 45 seconds. At 12:25 p.m., Neff's call ended. Then, at 12:26 p.m., roughly 3 minutes after the attack, the records indicate that Mikey McCoy added Erica Kirk to the ongoing call with his wife. At 12:28 p.m., Erica was reportedly removed from the call.
It's like what's this, a precatory psalm? I'm a little bit upset about that. Well, Mikey was standing strong, and I remember Charlie telling me, I want him to be my body man. I just said, that kid can't make his own bed. Charlie saw something in people no one else could see, and he could bring it out of them.
2 minutes later, at 12:30 p.m., Mikey added his father, Pastor Rob McCoy, creating a three-way conversation with Elizabeth that has since become another point of public discussion. According to the records discussed by Owens, at 12:32 p.m., Mikey McCoy ended the call with Pastor Rob. Then, at 12:34 p.m., his call with Elizabeth McCoy came to an end. Just 1 minute later, at 12:35 p.m., Danny McCoy reportedly called Mikey again, and the two remained on the phone for another 10 minutes. Owens argued that this documented minute-by-minute timeline, based on records she said were provided by Turning Point USA, does not match the public account shared by Blake Neff during an appearance on The Sean Ryan Show. In that interview, Neff said that after the attack, McCoy's lip was quivering. He also stated that McCoy said he needed to call Erica and then immediately called his father to ask for prayer. Owens pointed to the call timeline as a reason she questioned whether those accounts fully aligned, a claim that has remained a subject of public debate. According to the call records highlighted by Owens, the sequence appears different. The first call was reportedly placed to Mikey McCoy's wife, Elizabeth, at 12:24 p.m. Erica Kirk was not added to that call until about 3 minutes later, and Pastor Rob McCoy was not brought into the conversation until several minutes after that.
In a sense, was a better dad to my son than I was, because he brought out in Mikey the things where I was limited. I didn't think he was capable of it because I wasn't. But I'll tell you what, a father's the only man on the face of the earth who takes pleasure when another man exceeds his ability. So proud of Mikey. He's 24 and he's holding it together.
Owens also noted that Elizabeth remained on the call throughout the entire 10-minute conversation, beginning with the very first call at 12:24 p.m. She argued that despite her reported involvement during that period, Elizabeth has been mentioned very little in public accounts describing what happened during those critical minutes, a point that has fueled continued discussion and differing interpretations online. According to Owens, Blake Neff's public account did not mention Elizabeth McCoy at all. Owens pointed out that, based on the call records she discussed, Elizabeth was reportedly the first person Mikey McCoy called and remained on the line throughout that initial 10-minute conversation.
When the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a file, a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it, and he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one, I don't know. Maybe we missed it, because that seems automatic, right? 0.834, that seems pretty quick. And no, No, he doesn't do that. We even have him in front of Charlie's car when Charlie is brought to the car, the waiting car rather. He is still on the.
Owens argued that this detail was missing from the public narrative, which she said raised additional questions. Owens's main question was specific. She asked why Elizabeth McCoy was largely absent from public accounts if the call records accurately showed she was the first person contacted and remained on the call, especially considering Elizabeth's public appearance at the memorial and her reported close relationship with Erica Kirk. As of the time discussed, Owens said she was not aware of a public response from Turning Point USA addressing that question. Owens also highlighted another detail from the timeline, a 12:02 p.m. call from Danny McCoy to Mikey McCoy, approximately 21 minutes before the attack, which she identified as another point she believed deserved closer examination. That 12:02 p.m. call has been highlighted by people following the timeline as a potentially important detail, although no public source has confirmed what the conversation was about.
Take a look at this. Don't worry, we'll slow it down for you. See him in the background with the backpack? Let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone and begin a call before the shot takes off. And then after beginning that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot. And we were able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here.
Because of that, any conclusions about its significance remain speculative. Danny McCoy is Mikey McCoy's brother and has documented military connections. The call took place before the event began and before the attack occurred. Whether it has any connection to later events or was simply a routine family call before a high-profile appearance has not been publicly explained. As a result, the purpose of that call remains unknown based on the information currently available. Now let's look at the cameraman situation, because this is where Owens argues one of the most important factual disputes in the entire story begins. The focus shifts to Tyler Bowyer, the COO of Turning Point Action, who, at the time discussed, was facing Arizona state felony charges related to fraud and forgery. Those charges are separate from the events being discussed here and should not be taken as evidence about this incident. According to public posts from the day of the attack, Bowyer stated on social media that police had ordered all cameras at the UVU event to be shut down immediately after the incident. That statement later became a major point of debate as people compared it with other available footage and public information. According to Tyler Bowyer's public statement, cameras were ordered to stop recording immediately on police instructions, and no filming was supposed to continue once the chaos began. That claim later became an important part of the public discussion. Owens, however, gave a different account regarding the event footage. She said the cameraman connected to the event, someone she stated she knew personally and had worked with before, sent her a video on his own. According to Owens, she did not ask for the footage, and she said it was shared with her without any request on her part. According to Owens, the video was sent to her without her asking for it. She said the footage appeared to show the cameraman continuing to record calmly and deliberately at the UVU scene for roughly 4 minutes after the attack before eventually lowering the camera.
See Mikey's on his phone here, and you're going to see he pulls it up. And he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a guess here. That's what made the most sense to us because we couldn't justify it in any other way. And I want to be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay? And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA could just tell the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything. Okay, I obviously went out to both Mike.
Owens argued that this seemed difficult to reconcile with the earlier public claim that police had ordered an immediate shutdown of all cameras. In the footage she described, recording appeared to continue while the crowd was panicking and security personnel were rushing toward Charlie, a contrast that has become a major point of debate among those reviewing the available evidence. Owens stated her conclusion plainly. Based on her interpretation of the available footage, she argued that Tyler Bowyer's public statement was inaccurate. In her view, the cameras were not shut down immediately on police orders because the video she described appeared to show recording continuing for several more minutes after the attack. According to Owens, if the recording continued from about 12:23 p.m. until roughly 12:27 p.m., then whatever was captured during that period would exist in the cameraman's footage she says she received, even if it has not been released publicly. That claim remains part of her investigation and has been disputed by others. At the same time, the Standing for Freedom Center's Ryan Helfenbein argued in a detailed March 2026 critique of Owens's investigation that her review has important limits. He stated that Owens does not have access to the full body of evidence and does not have the legal authority to subpoena records, compel testimony, or cross-examine witnesses under oath, meaning her conclusions should be viewed alongside those limitations.
Andrew Kolvatz, for a statement, asked those two questions. Hey, who were you on the phone with? What's going on here? No response. Weird. Because if that was me and I saw clips going viral and people were drawing conclusions from that clip, thinking that I was already on the phone, thinking that my reaction was weird, I would instantly hit back. I'd say, here's my call log. You want to know who I was on the phone with? 911.
Those are valid observations about the limits of any investigation conducted through podcasts or publicly available material. Without formal legal authority, investigators cannot subpoena records, require testimony, or question witnesses under oath, which naturally places limits on what can be confirmed. However, Owens argued that the specific dispute over Tyler Bowyer's camera statement is different. In her view, it is not simply a theory, but a question of whether Bowyer's public post matches the footage she says she possesses. If that footage clearly shows cameras continued recording after the point Bowyer described, it could help clarify whether his public statement was accurate. Until the footage is publicly available and independently examined, that question remains the subject of ongoing debate. According to Owens, Terrell Farnsworth, a Turning Point USA employee who physically took the cameras down, told her they were stopping the recording because the organization was testing a new live streaming approach for outdoor events. Owens strongly rejected that explanation, stating on her podcast, "Farnsworth lied to me several times," and adding that his explanation made my skin crawl.
I was freaking out. I called 911. I didn't know what I was doing. Here's my phone. Here's my whole call log for that day. But this is, I don't know. I guess we live in a world where that doesn't make sense. I would have issued a statement to dispel any rumors, but they have not. Here's what I want to say, and I honestly understand I'm preaching to the choir here.
Turning Point USA has publicly defended Farnsworth's account. As Owens presented it, there are 3 different explanations that have yet to be reconciled. Farnsworth's statement about a new live streaming process, Tyler Bowyer's public post claiming police ordered the cameras to be shut down, and the footage Owens says shows recording continuing for several minutes after the attack. No official source has publicly released a single documented account that resolves those differences, and the competing claims remain disputed. Now the story moves to its latest chapter. As of July 6th, 2026, the preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson has officially begun, bringing new developments that have added fresh context to the case. According to those following the proceedings, recent events involving the families connected to the case have introduced new questions and unexpected developments that continue to draw public attention.
It's unbelievable that of all the clips we picked that, and I had no idea it was UVU. The point is that I hit college campuses with Charlie Kirk for 6 years. I don't believe that there is a single living, breathing person who has spoken at more college campuses alongside Charlie Kirk than me. So I knew that things were weird when I saw first and foremost, the camera guy, the one who takes down the camera. Seeing him lingering alongside Charlie at the event flagged me as weird immediately. Okay? That's why I reached out when people saw him taking down the camera. I said, what is this? Why are you here? Literally, why are you standing next to Charlie? I've never
On July 6th, Charlie Kirk's parents, Robert and Catherine Kirk, attended the preliminary hearing alongside Erica Kirk, presenting a joint family statement. Their appearance marked another significant moment as the legal proceedings moved forward. The statement read, "Charlie was a beloved husband, son, brother, friend, and father. Every court proceeding serves as a painful reminder of his passing and the loss that has irrevocably impacted our lives and the lives of his children."
Any college event ever in 6 years had that man standing next to me at an event, okay? Sometimes he wasn't even there. Other times, of course, when you are in AV, your job is to be somewhere quiet. Your job is to have on like headphones to make sure the audio is good. Maybe the idea that they're miking, the person running a company is miking you up is completely absurd. I didn't like it. It felt new to me. And you know what? When I called him, things got pretty weird. He acknowledged that a lot of new stuff was happening on that day. And I inquired to him immediately about the subtle changes that I recognized. And the thing that struck me as wrong was that he lied to me. I don't know why.
The family's message focused on the continuing impact of Charlie's death and the emotional toll of each new stage in the court process, while drawing renewed public attention to the case. The statement was released jointly by Charlie's parents, Robert and Catherine Kirk, along with his wife, Erica, and his sister, Mary. That caught the attention of many people following the case. For months, reports and online discussions had described tensions within the Kirk family over matters related to the organization and Charlie's legacy. According to those reports, Charlie's parents and sister were said to have disagreed with some of Erica's decisions, while public court filings reportedly involved trademark disputes and probate proceedings.
He was lying to me, but a lot of the things that he said didn't make sense. And I'm going to speak more thoroughly about what it was that he said, because obviously I recorded the phone call. I, of course, asked him why he took down the cameras so quickly. I asked him to, first and foremost, simply show me the footage, because that's all I wanted to do. I'm thinking, again, we're all going to get the band back together and solve this murder. And he got weird. He got really weird. I said, I just want to see the footage so I can debunk. I know that you don't want to put more footage out there. That's fine. But just show me the footage so I can debunk all these internet conspiracies that you were hiding something. I was not suspicious of Turning Point at all, actually, when I called. And I asked him again, what's the...
Even so, on July 6th, 2026, the opening day of the preliminary hearing, the family appeared together and issued a single joint statement. For many observers, that marked a notable change from the divisions that had previously been reported. Security at the courthouse was also unusually tight. Armed law enforcement officers were positioned on the courthouse roof. Public access was heavily restricted, and only 14 spectator seats were available each day. The purpose of the preliminary hearing is not to decide whether Robinson is guilty or innocent. Instead, its role is to determine whether prosecutors have presented enough evidence for the case to move forward to a full jury trial.
Kind of a lie number 2-ish. Then he said something that really bothered me. He said, I don't know how to send the footage. The file was too large. Oh, I was born yesterday. So you run an entire AV company and you don't know how to send footage. That didn't smell right to me. It got even more bizarre. He told me, and this is when I was extremely uncomfortable. He said, after I offered, you can just use WeTransfer. He said, I don't want to just send the footage over the...
Candace Owens did not attend the hearing in person. Instead, she posted on X, "One more fight, Charlie. I don't fear these demons. We will win." The message quickly spread across social media and reflected the determined public stance she has maintained throughout her coverage of the case. To many observers, that post stood in clear contrast to the approach taken by Charlie Kirk's family. While Owens continued to speak publicly about the case, the family focused on the courtroom proceedings and released a carefully worded joint statement. That difference in approach has become one of the defining themes surrounding the case over the past several months. At the same time, Charlie Kirk's parents and sister, who had previously been described in reports and public discussions as having disagreements with Erica, appeared alongside her on July 6th and presented a united front during the preliminary hearing. Their joint appearance became another closely watched development as the legal process continued. Whether that appearance reflects genuine reconciliation, a decision to set aside personal differences during the legal process, or simply the respectful conduct expected in a courtroom is something no one outside the family can know.
Internet that's behind Charlie's head, because I'm worried that Google might hack me. I swear, on everything I love, that's what he told me. He was afraid that Google was going to hack him. So at this moment, I got a little bit, I looked at my team and I started snapping across the table, and I was like, I said to them, literally, guilty of something. I don't know. This is weird. What a stupid lie. I mean, what do you mean just Google? So I said to him, I said, let's just pretend that that does happen. For whatever reason, Sergey Brin is sitting around and he's...
Any conclusion beyond that would be speculation. What their actions do show is that whatever private disagreements may exist, Charlie Kirk's family and his widow chose not to display them publicly on the opening day of a hearing that could determine whether prosecutors have presented enough evidence for Tyler Robinson's case to move forward to trial.
I want to hack this person because I want to see footage behind Charlie's head. Does it? Whatever. And then he gives the footage to Fox News, CNN, and they play it. And what happens after that? I said to him, oh, I know what happens after. We all get to see Charlie Kirk die from a different angle. We've seen it die from 1,000 different angles. Like, what is actually changing if Google hacks you? Weird. A weird thing to say.
Meanwhile, Owens has continued to publicly discuss the case and share updates from her investigation, maintaining the same determined approach that has defined her coverage from the beginning. Owens' "one more fight" message and her ongoing investigation have continued on a separate track from the legal proceedings. While the courtroom focuses on legal standards and evidence presented by prosecutors, Owens has continued to raise questions about issues she believes deserve further examination, including the call logs, camera recordings, succession-related videos, and the handling of evidence. Regardless of what the July preliminary hearing ultimately leads to, Owens argues that one issue remains unresolved.
What were Charlie's closest friends and allies and the people that were going to carry on the torch doing? Oh, picking up phone calls that they were already on and filming themselves and prematurely announcing when not a single person could have known that Charlie Kirk is dead. Less than a minute. Declared dead. No instinct to run towards him. No instinct to run further away, maybe because you got to backtrack and go get the cameras a minute after this ends is when he goes and gets the cameras, okay? Rather, let me record me and my reaction, which doesn't actually...
According to the call records she discussed, the first person Mikey McCoy reportedly called after the attack was his wife, Elizabeth, not Erica Kirk. Owens has argued that this sequence differs from a public account given elsewhere, and she says that discrepancy has not yet been publicly explained. The differing accounts remain a subject of ongoing public debate.
In fact, if this is one of those videos that made me so upset that I was like mad at other people, you know, like I was like mad at Savannah. I saw Mikey McCoy's reaction. Now I'm looking at this guy's reaction. I'm like, Savannah, like one of the homies. I get assassinated. You film yourself.
Owens has also argued that Elizabeth McCoy's reported involvement during those first critical minutes has not been addressed in any official public account from Turning Point USA, despite the call record she discussed placing Elizabeth on the initial call. Owens has continued to question why that detail has not been publicly explained. Owens has also pointed to what she describes as a contradiction involving Tyler Bowyer's public statement that cameras were shut down immediately and the footage she says she possesses, which she argues shows recording continuing for several more minutes. Those competing claims remain disputed and have not been publicly reconciled. Owens has argued that Terrell Farnsworth's explanation for why the cameras were shut down does not align with Tyler Bowyer's earlier public statement that police ordered an immediate stop to filming. She presents these as specific documented points that she believes deserve closer examination. At the same time, those differences do not, by themselves, establish a conspiracy. They do not prove that Mikey McCoy had prior knowledge of the attack, nor do they demonstrate that Tyler Robinson received assistance from anyone within Charlie Kirk's circle. Instead, Owens' position is that these are documented discrepancies that, in her view, have not yet been publicly reconciled and therefore continue to generate questions and debate. Those questions also fall outside the purpose of a preliminary hearing.
I get assassinated. You're talking about my succession plan. A couple days later, I get assassinated. You're lying about little things about me. Everything Turning Point is doing is wrong. And you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong deep down. And I want to say this because there has been a lot of reading in between the lines. It's strange to me. I think I'm a very direct person. I say what I mean. And I do not want people to mistake what's happening right now or to wrongly assume my intentions here. So allow me to be very explicit.
A hearing focused on determining whether there is enough evidence for a case to move forward against Tyler Robinson is not intended to resolve every disputed claim, explain every inconsistency raised in public discussions, or answer all of the questions Owens has continued to raise. The call logs, the cameraman footage, and Owens' concerns about the limited public discussion of Elizabeth McCoy's reported role are not part of the prosecution's case against Tyler Robinson. Those issues have been raised in public commentary and independent reporting, but they are separate from the legal questions the court is considering in the criminal proceedings. All of those issues remain outside the scope of the official legal proceedings. Instead, they have largely been discussed in the separate public conversation that Candace Owens has continued for months, where she has raised questions she believes deserve further examination. Whether those questions are ultimately answered is distinct from the courtroom's role, which is focused on applying the law to the evidence presented in the criminal case. One more fight, Charlie. That message has become a defining part of Owens' public coverage of the case. Supporters view her work as an effort to pursue unanswered questions, while critics argue that her approach is driven more by generating attention. Those different perspectives continue to shape the public debate. Regardless of where people stand, Owens maintains that several of the questions she has raised have not yet received public answers. As long as those issues remain unresolved in the eyes of many observers, discussion is likely to continue. What do you think? Does the reported minute-by-minute call timeline affect how you view the events of September 10th? Or do you believe more verified information is needed before drawing conclusions? One more fight, Charlie. That message has become one of the defining themes of Owens's public coverage of this case. Supporters see her investigation as an effort to keep asking difficult questions, while critics believe she is giving too much weight to information that has not been fully verified. Those competing views continue to shape the conversation. What remains clear is that public debate is likely to continue as the legal process moves forward and more information becomes available.
I want war with all of you. Okay, all of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit. I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know that this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal.
Until then, many of the claims and disputed details discussed outside the courtroom remain just that, subjects of ongoing public discussion rather than established conclusions. What do you think? Does the reported minute-by-minute call timeline change how you see the events of September 10th? Or do you think it's too early to draw conclusions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown informative, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more in-depth coverage, and share it with others who want to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.